Good morning, Rabbi Isai. You suckers in the house. Sucker Brian. NISHMAS Today's shir is sponsored by Yehuda Scheff. NISHMAS, my grandfather from Dovid ben Yerachmiel Zev. The neshama should have an aliyah. By Reuven Herssein, in honor of my son Levi Yitzhak on his bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. Yaakov, it's not that funny that he's bar mitzvah. Bring that over here. Come, Jonathan, come here, Jonathan. Let's introduce you to the Olam. Come. Get over here. This was in front of Jonathan's seat. No, and then he complains. Okay, fine. I know we saw a few pictures of Eli Dykman, but here's the final one on his trip home. He spent $40 to watch the shir on Zoom. So what's the excuse, Rabbi Isa? You guys live next door, you don't come. $40 he spent to see it on Zoom. Imagine live. I do, Rabbi Yisrael Halperin. Sammy Joseph. Dear Rebelli, my 11-year-old son, A.B., is in 6th grade at YTT in Chicago. YTT. Whew. It's the normal. My son went there. He and I started dafing with your recorded shir on YouTube toward the beginning of Psachim. We particularly enjoyed your kutach, and we've been hooked since. You see, kutach hooked in 2 people. My parents stayed by us for Pesach. My father watched with us, and he became hooked also. He now watches your shir on YouTube to Chazar after learning daf with his regular Maggid shir. We printed the Aram Kaz 2 editions ago and had questions of the Gemara from Rav Gav. They were awesome review, and AB knew more questions than I did. We're saddened that the last edition didn't have the questions on the Gemara. Can you please ask the Rav Gav to reinstate the questions on the Gemara?
I spoke to him.
Oh.
He had a low car, he was very upset that he missed it.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna try and
He's gonna restart it. AB has been bugging me to send an email for a few weeks to make sure we're formally considered part of MDY. He has also been bugging me to go to Kesher Stam and buy a copy of Gai Videlio. He says it has better stories than Nachman Seltzer's books.
Ask David, who do you think wrote Gai Videlio?
Who wrote Gai Videlio?
Hello, AB, hello.
Did you write this also? What? Did you write this too? I'm asking you.
Who knows how to write? You.
Did you write all the books about a Gai Videlio?
Who knows how to write? Who writes it?
Anyways, check this out at Kesher Stam. Both editions, actually. Both editions are here. Hold on, there's another edition. 2 editions. I guess the cover is different. I don't know if the inside, the Teichen. Second edition, first. Okay. You're talking about Gaiva. Nachman, you learn from the best. All the good books were you. We started learning Daf Yomi after the Sima Shas last year. We were unfortunately not zoich to pull off making an Siyam on brachas prior to Dovid shutting down the world. Baruch Hashem, tonight AB made his first Siyam at Shalitz. See, this email hits all the good points. The Shalitz, the Chicago, there's a father-son. Look at this. At Shalitz with his father. Unbelievable.
That's so special.
And this is AB learning the Daf on his own.
You should fly AB into visit us.
If you pay, I'll fly him in. It's not a problem. Baruch Hashem, tonight AB made his first team at Shalitz. I know you love pics, so here we go. Also, here's a picture of him learning on YouTube after school. Please send regards to Eli Kamiansky, my old roommate from OJ. You know the guy? Avi's brother knows you. Yashikoyach for everything you do, and Amir Hashem will keep on dafing Sammy Joseph. Beautiful. Do we have, what time is it? I don't see the time. The Heilige Rebbe, make sure you read this with Hasidic accent. Adinaini Miraini V'Rabaini, Harav Goy and Tzadik, Hayusha Atumim. Make sure to read this with the Sephardic accent. Pronounce the Ches. Hachacham Eliyahu Shlita. Oh, he's the Ba Mechaber Gai Videlio. Fine, from Aaron Shalom. Next. Good morning, Rabbi. Sorry, not Rebbe. Rabbi, this is Bedafka, Rabbi. First, I would like to thank you for the shir this morning. What? Last night, while I was preparing, I had the all too common brain freeze that just made me dash to the Mishnah. He's talking about that sugya with Tmura, with the whole, that sugya, and then finally we went to the Mishnah. We said it's smooth sailing. So this morning, thanks to your explanation, we revised before Shachris, and it all fell into place. Second, regarding the rabbi title you tried to bestow on me, he looks like a chashuv guy with the beard, the whole thing. I've been adamant all the years that unless you teach kodesh, I only do chol and swimming. The only correct way to this title is by getting smicha. It's nothing to do with anivos. So I've been long enough in the shir to have learned from the best. Dailam is hopping on quickly.
What?
Anava. You learned anava from the best. I also think so. I don't think it has anything to do. But I never got smicha.
If Gilad Karif could be a rabbi, this guy could be a rabbi.
Yeah, okay. I have no idea what that is, but you're 100% right. Latest fad of throwing titles at every Joe Schmo that just belittles those who have worked so hard to earn the title. My children make fun of me that I'm going through a midlife crisis, but I've signed up to 2 courses. By very late in life, 7 years towards Shas and 2 years towards my QTLS, Qualified Teacher Learning Skill Status. What's wrong with that, Mendy? What's wrong? What do you mean with what? Oh, you're not listening to the email. I didn't think so. You hear Mendy? He had a midlife crisis and he started learning Shas. That's a midlife crisis. Midlife crisis is a guy that buys a jet ski, Ferrari, Corvette, Safari, buys a dog. Learning Shas. Learning something to Gewaldig. Halavai, everybody should have midlife crisis. Whatever, love for halacha, I put that on back burner for a while. I messed my school years and yeshiva years, and now I'm only now catching up. Okay, it's never too late. It's gewaldig. We both be zoicha to grow gracefully and reach the time where I can be called a rabbi. In the meanwhile, I'll stick to plain Mr. Looking forward to completing his second Masechta with MDY, Mr. Rafal Roskov. Shkoyach. I can't give smicha if I don't have smicha. I'm not a rabbi. I'm also a Mr. In the invitation, Mr. Eli Stefansky. We'll see. Maybe it's a chapter in the book. Rabbi Isai, beautiful daf today. Daf Nun Beis. And yesterday we were discussing exactly how the Kohen Gadol walks through the Heichal. Does he walk to the right? He walks to the left. This is the north, the south. So we're on the third. We're on the third shita, top. We're starting off right away with stories and geschmack zachen. Rabbi Yossi holds that you don't have to go between the mizbeach and the shulchan right over here. You go, you hug the wall. Even though the Paroiches is open and you can look into Kodesh HaKadoshim, and somebody sent me a Chizkuni. Who was it? I forgot already. Chizkuni says that you fill up the Kodesh HaKadoshim with Oshan, with smoke, so that you don't see the Rebbeinu Shalom Kaviyachal. You shouldn't be able to see certain things in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So this is dangerous. The curtain is open. You might see something you shouldn't be able to see. You shouldn't see. Nevertheless, listen to this. So we have to see Rashi for this. This is actually maybe part of the reason that the Gdolim of that generation, the Vilna Gaon and the Gdolei Hador, put Hasidim and Cherem. One of the big tightness that they had on Hasidim was that Hasidim held that you go, your tefillah should go up with the Rebbe. They held that that's wrong, that a Yid should daven by himself and not go through the Rebbe. So from here, Rashi could go both ways. You see, have the Litvaks on one side and the Hasidim on the other. Rashi didn't ask, a Jew has the ability to daven for himself. A Jew knows what he needs and how to talk. The Chavetz Chaim used to say, "Tat od lib as a bet gleich." You go straight. You don't tell a sibling to go ask daddy. You go straight to the father. However, says Rashi, Hilkoch, but on Yom Kippur, where we send the shaliach, the Kohen Gadol is our shliach. Hilkoch chavev hu shluchon likonis lepumbi. Now it's adarabah. There's a kavachomer. It's a kolshkin. If each Jew could daven for himself, so then the Kohen Gadol who davens for Klal Yisrael on Yom Kippur, so certainly he should have a special pathway and he should go Chavivin Yisrael shlo yitzrichon hakosav l'shliach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you don't need a shliach here. It's a Mefurish Gemara. It's not even Rashi. Mefurish Gemara, but on Yom Kippur there's certainly a shliach. So there's a Mardik in Medrash. You might know it, but it's Kedai the Chazara. Shlomo HaMelech dressed up as a pauper and wanted to see what Klal Yisrael is up to. And he went to a village and he knocks on a very poor person's door. And the guy says, "Oh, Shalom Aleichem, come in." He didn't recognize him. He thought he's a pauper. And he gives him milchiks and then he gives him fleishiks. So Shlomo HaMelech says, "What's this?" So he says, "I have one goat." It's a very emotional story. I have one goat and I make milchiks with it. But I was so excited that I have a guest. I shechted my one goat. That's all I have, my one goat. So first I gave you my leftover milchiks, and now I'm giving you fleishiks. Shlomo HaMelech couldn't believe it. The guy for Achnos Sarchim is shechting his only belonging. So he said, "I want you here. Take this note. You come to Yerushalayim. You go visit the king. Go straight in there." So a few days later, he realized he doesn't have what to be misparnas with. Doesn't have a goat. So he goes to Yerushalayim. Knocks on the door. And they say, "Oh, you have a note. Come on in." And they brought him through the tunnel to the Beis Hamikdash. He said, "Shlomo HaMelech is in the Beis Hamikdash now, davening." So he goes into the Beis Hamikdash and he sees Shlomo HaMelech davening, and he hears Shlomo HaMelech crying for parnasa. He made a U-turn and went back home. Shlomo HaMelech has finished davening. He says, "Where's the guy? I heard he was here." They don't know. So they go look for him. They couldn't find him. So they go up north where he lived, and they found him. They drag him back down to Shlomo HaMelech, to the palace. "What's this? You were here, then you left. What's going on?" He said, "I came for parnasa. But when I heard that you yourself are asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for parnasa, so I said, I could do it myself. Why do I need you?" So I went home to ask for parnasa. This is the Maisa. It's an unbelievable story. A Yid could ask for himself. It's a koyach that we have. We have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly. Rabbi Yehuda Nami, Neil be Menoyer LaKoisel. Now, Rabbi Yehuda, so we're talking about Rabbi Yossi hugging the wall over here. But Rabbi Yehuda, who's on this side, why can't he hug the wall? So he doesn't hold the Chaviv in Yisrael, but he doesn't have to, because think about it. Yesterday we discussed that according to him there are two paroichesim. According to Rabbi Yossi, there's one. By the way, Taisus says according to him it might have been a full amma wide. Okay, but why can't he go this way? Why does he have to go around the menorah? Let him hug the wall. He's not going to see anything anyways because there's another paroiches behind. You're more to the left. I mean, you pick a side. Pick a side. Go straight. Ayid get gleich. Why be krum? Says the Gemara. I lost it already. Where's my piece? Yeah, thank you. The walls by the menorah were full of soot. Full of that black stuff. You know, go to Reb Chaim Kanevsky's house. I don't know if you ever saw it. When he has his candles, the whole wall, the whole ceiling's black from the candles. So that stuff can make your clothing, and he's wearing white clothing. It's terrible stuff. Go around. Omer Reb Nosson. I'm a traxin. So we're discussing yesterday the one amma. Gary, for a second. No good? Okay, this. What? You can't do the just me. Meanwhile, we'll do the. No, we have the device. We might as well hook it up until you get the steers. It'll be a month. Okay, this red line. Maybe zoom into this. Could you do that, or it's still not working? Here we go. We'll schmooze after, or we can schmooze now if you want. Whatever fits you. I can always. I got it. I got it. Fine. These red lines right over here are the traxin. It's one amma. And we say the Chachamim don't know if it has halacha like the Heichal or it has Kodesh HaKadoshim halacha. So the Gemara now understands that is the actual wall part of Kodesh HaKadoshim or part of the Heichal? We're not talking about Gedusha. Is it part of it? Says the Gemara, Maskiv lo Ravina, my time. Ushloishim amma kamasai. We're talking about the heichal. You can't get me down over here a little bit? No? Okay. Let's do this. Oh, this won't be on YouTube? So I could do this. Is this better? That's fine, he said. Okay. This is the heichal. This is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is 20 amma. This is 40. Says the Gemara. Total of 60. From point A to point B to the end is 60. How do you divide it? It's 20 amma wide, u'shleishim amma kamasai, and 30 amma tall. Uchsiv. And how do you break it down? Uchsiv. So this part is 40. From the wall down here is 40. Uchsiv v'lefnei advir. The dvir is a mechitza, as we'll see. Esrim amma oirech, v'esrim amma roichav. The Kodesh HaKadoshim was a square. 20 amma deep, 20 amma wide. V'esrim amma kamasai, and 20 amma tall. So it's a box. V'lo yadinon, amma tracks in imahani esrim, v'imahani esrim. We don't know, what's this red line over here? Is this wall part of the heichal or part of the Kodesh HaKadoshim? V'dilma, ask Ravina. Ask Ravina. V'dilma loy mahani esrin v'loy mahani arba'im. Loy mahani esrin v'loy mahani arba'im. Who told you that we take off a amma from any place? Maybe there's a total of 60 amma plus 1 amma of the wall, which totals 61. Who told you that we have to take an amma off of, let's say, the Kodesh HaKadoshim, now it's 19 amma? In fact, it's not like that. V'chalala kachashiv, k'salim lekachashiv. You're only counting, according to you, the square footage, the inside, not the actual walls. You know, here in Eretz Yisrael, you pay arnona based on the walls of the house, the outside. They tell you, oh, I'm selling you a 150-meter house. You come in, it's 120. What's going on? Oh, no. It includes all the walls and the outside, and that's what you pay arnona. Okay. Great. Not in Yerushalayim. And I think only here in Bet Shemesh. Here in Bet Shemesh, it's a special halacha. Huh? You need the walls. You don't need the walls in Yerushalayim. I hear. Now he proves his point that we do count the wall. So if we do count the wall, Rabbi say, then what's the shaila in the Gemara? Does the wall belong here? The wall doesn't belong anywhere. The wall is its own entity. You have the heichal that's 40. You have the Kodesh HaKadoshim that's 20 plus a wall that's 1. What's the problem? Anytime there's mention of a wall, we count it individually by itself. This not like the Arnona Biller in Bet Shemesh. This not. This structure right over here is 100 by 100. If you look closely, it goes from here to here. The wide part of the ulam is 100, and memela we count this as a square box. Yeah, this part is a little narrower, but this part is 100. 100 by 100. Okay, now this is not very important to remember all the details, but the Mishnah tells us exactly how it works. Very pashut. If you have the Kol HaLashon, this is from the Kol HaLashon. The thickness of this wall is 5. The thickness of the following wall is 6. And in between you have 11. How much is 5 plus 6? 11. 11 plus 11 is how much? 2 ones, 22. 22 amma. Over here in the Kol HaLashon, for some reason, it says 10. A little bit of a boo-boo. 22 plus 11 plus 11 equals 10. Fine. And this is 90. 90 plus 10 equals 100. They got that part right. It might be based on a Rashi. There's some Rashi somewhere that says that it's 10. What are we doing?
It's a miracle. It just moved.
Okay. The way we're learning right now, this is 78 plus 22 equals 100. The point is, from here to here is 100. Now, all the Gemara wants to prove is that this red line in the center that divides the Heichal and the Kodesh HaKadoshim is counted as 1 amma. Without that, it would be 99. And you need that 1 amma of the wall. Here it is. Let's see inside. Kaisal ulam chamesh. You have 5 amma for this wall. V'ulam achadesrei, and the inside of the ulam is 11. And then you have 6 amma for this thick wall. These are thick walls, 12 feet wide, big walls. That we know. The heichal is 40 amma. Va'ama traxin. Here we go. That's the whole raya. Over here it says that the wall dividing and separating the heichal and the kodesh kodashim is 1 amma, and it's part of the cheshbon. Because without that 1 amma, you're going to have 99, not 100. The Amud Beis kodesh kodashim, the kodesh kodashim is 20 amma. Now we're just going to go to the back of the kodesh kodashim. Once we're done with kodesh kodashim, as you see, there's a wall, and in between the wall, there's some sort of chamber over here, a room. The wall is 6, the chamber is 6, and the wall is 5. Azoy is finished. So the kasha is, once we know that this amma is actually counted as the cheshbon of the great job. You just shrunk the whole Beis Hamikdash here. Oh, you can see it. Gewaldig. Here. 5, 11, 6, 40, 1, 20, 6, 5. No, the one is bigger. This is 5? 5, 6. No, let's see. 6, 6, 5. Let's see over here. Yeah, he's right. 6, 6, 5. The tie is 6. Okay. Great. So now the mizbeach over here. Sure, could you lift this for a second? No. It's fine. No. We don't need it. I'm joking. I'm just kidding. We don't. There's no mizbeach anymore. Okay. So the question is, so then what's the suffix of the Gemara? What is the suffix of the Gemara? We know exactly where the wall belongs. The wall belongs its own entity. It's a 1 amma by itself. No, the shaila was, this amma, does it equal kedusha of kodesh hakadashim because it's adjacent to, it is the kodesh hakadashim's wall, or perhaps it's the heichal's wall. Maybe it has lesser kedusha of the heichal. And this is what Rabbi Yochanan said. Interesting. The man had 7 names. And if you want to know, you'll see soon, Rabbi Schomburg has a beautiful shtickle on it in this week's Ar HaMerkaz. Udvir besoich habayis mipnimo heichin letitin shomes haroin bris Hashem. Oh, so now we're going into, not a hard sugya, but an interesting one of 6 psukim. Just to show us, this is the pasuk. Udvir b'toich habayis. So for the next 7 psukim, it's the same, it's going to look the same. The beginning of the pasuk is blue, the end of the pasuk is red, and then there's going to be a word smack in the middle that could go to the blue or to the red. And we don't know. And the wall is in the house, in the Beis Hamikdash. Now, you could either read it, mipnima, that the wall is inside the Kodesh HaKodashim, or you do a stop, a comma. And then mipnima, that inside you put the aron. Mipnima is talking about the aron goes inside. In other words, the wall is on the outside. The wall doesn't have kedusha. So either habayis is the wall, udvir, the mechitza, the partition. It's considered inside the Kodesh HaKodashim and it has tremendous kedusha. Or no, the word penima goes with the red and it's talking about the aron that has kedusha, but the wall doesn't have kedusha. Okay. That's the style for the next 7 psukim for the next 5 lines. What did the pasuk mean? Okay, it's going on the aron, so the wall, the dvir, doesn't have kedusha. Then you do the kama. That the wall is in the Kodesh HaKodashim. That's exactly the shaila. And that was the shaila. What kind of kedusha does the wall have? As the Gemara, Does Yosef ish hutzal, this Yosef, the chash of a person from hutzal, he had such a suffix on this pasuk? It can't be. Vatanya isi ben Yehuda omer. Now, isi ben Yehuda happens to be Yosef ish hutzal. And from the fact that isi ben Yehuda only had 5 problems in the whole Torah, and this is not one of the 5, this is number 6. So how could it be he had a problem? There are 5 psukim in the Torah that are very difficult to decipher if the word is going on the beginning of the pasuk or the end of the pasuk. Turning to Daf Yomi, Amud Beis, sponsored by Rabbi Kornbluth. Why not? Yes, Michael. Eli NISHMAS, Uri Ben Mattisyahu. And for the success in Gashmius and especially ruchnius of his grandchildren, of Uri, that is. Seis. We have by Cain and Hevel, Baruch Hu tells Cain, Haloi imtativ seis. So this is one place of the psukim that the word seis can mean 2 different things. Oh, it could either mean that if you do good, Cain, you can do tshuva. And if you do tshuva, I'm going to be moichel you. Seis means a mechila, I'm going to be moichel you. Or it's I don't understand this the other way. If you do, let me know. Or it can mean, Haloyim teitiv. If you do good, fill in the blank. You figure it out yourself. However, seis, if you have an avera, noisei yavain, says Rashi, if you're going to continue with the avera, the vaver is very hard to understand. Let's pretend there's no vaver. Seis, im loiseitiv lebelach hazroivitz. It's going to be not good for you if the word says he has a shayla that's going in the beginning of the pasuk or the end of the pasuk. Next one is mishu kadim. The menorah has menorah arba givim. It has 4 cups. Mishu kadim. Are the 4 cups with almonds on them a design? But over here you have a comma. The way we have it is a comma. So it reads mishu kadim kafterei bracha, that the almonds. It does not in my thing. The Bakar says it has a comma. You remember this? Not over here. I don't see. This is a comma. No, that's not such a comma. That's not a real. I'm not going to your shul. How we do it, how we did the comma. That's his child. I don't know where it is. I don't know where the trub is. Look in Rabbi Schoenberg's pshat thing there about this and about his name. He has a whole thing. Did they lose the trup? It doesn't seem that they lost the trup. How did he come up with it? He knew it, didn't know. Okay, fine. I was asked to announce that a Motzi Shabbos in New York, 11:30, the Olam is getting together. Be confirmed by Thursday afternoon, U.S. time. Okay. MDY Shabbos and Avroham get together in where? Do we know where it is in New York? Oh, Borough Park or Flatbush. Borough Park or Flatbush. Okay. Machar. What's Machar? The famous pasuk. They're going to war with Amalek. It's important to know that it's Moshe talking to Yeshua, not Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe tells Yeshua, when should we go to war? Either Machar. Either you go to war Machar. So in other words, Machar is on the war. Or today, right now. Machar, I'm going to daven on the rock. So if the pshat is that you're going to war today, and tomorrow I'm going to daven, in other words, that means I don't need to daven for you today. Today there's no tzarech to davening. Klal Yisrael do well. Tomorrow I'm going to need to daven for you, unfortunately. Next one is Arur. Yaakov Avinu with Shimon and Levi, and he tells them, Ki ba'apam hargu ish, with their anger they killed. And u'ritzaynam ikru shar. This is very interesting, this one. If you just see in the Gemara, you don't see it over here, you don't chap how interesting it is. The next Arur is in Pasuk Zayin, the first word in Pasuk Zayin. So you can say, okay, they didn't know where to put the psukim. He wasn't sure where to put the pasuk. It could be Ikru Shar Arur. They were oiker a cursed ox. Shechem's ox. They were cursed. Ki ba'apam hargu ish, we're saying Ikru Shar Arur. Or apam ki az ve'vrasam ki koshasa. Huh? There's a lot of, it's a good kash. He says, how do you start a pasuk apam? Apam ki oz ve'vrasam ki koshasa. Why not? Mamish flows. Apam ki oz. Their anger was very fierce. Okay. I know to us it seems like we're so used to these psukim. It sounds like this is how it should be, but or vikama. But if it's vikam, then it's a siman. It's a remes that Tchias HaMesim. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Yaakov Avinu is saying. Hashem is telling Moshe, that there's going to be Tchias HaMesim. You, Moshe Rabbeinu, are going to stand up for Tchias HaMesim. What else do we have? Or Vikam. Vatanya, and there it says, Who Yosef Ish Hutzal? This man is Yosef Ish Hutzal. You have to be in charge of my thing. Nachamol got lost. Okay. Here, Yaakov, look over here. Oh, here it is. Here we go. I don't know how it got. Give me your hand. You didn't look in for a second. Where's that stick? Who Yosef Ish Hutzal? It's the same man. His name was Yosef Ish Hutzal. Who Yosef Abavli? Who Isi ben Yehuda? Now, he was running away. Rabbi Schomburg says that he was promoting Torah, and they say he was running away from the Goyim. So he constantly had to change his name. You know, these guys were familiar with it. They have different licenses. They had to come different Johnny this, that. You know, they're criminals. But he wasn't Chas V'Shalom. He was the opposite. He was just he wanted to save his life. He wanted to promote Torah and save his life. Who is he? Ben Gur Aryeh, which is the same as Ben Yehuda. What? Yeah. So Ayin and Rabbi Schomburg's thing, talking about changing his father's name. Who changed the father's name? Okay. Who is he? Ben Gamliel. Who is he? Ben Mahalel. Umashmoy. But what's his real name? Is he Ben Akiva Shmoy or Akavia? Okay. But the point is that he only had 5 ha'aras in the Torah. And your ha'ara on Dvir, that whole pasuk with the mechitza in and out, is not his. But the Reis Aleka, you're right, he only had 5 in the Torah. But that's a pasuk in Melachim, I think. Where is that pasuk? Melachim. Says the Gemara, but there's another one. The boy Rav Chizda, Vayishlach Snari b'nei Yisrael v'yalu oilos. This is also an interesting one, a little different than the others. It says in the pasuk, Vayishlach Snari b'nei Yisrael v'yalu oilos. It doesn't say anything about sheep like our Gemara says. If you read it in our Gemara, it's confusing. V'yalu oilos kvasim. The pasuk says, Vayishlach Snari b'nei Yisrael v'yalu oilos. Vayizbuch zvachim shalom l'Hashem parim. Do I assume that the blue part is talking about sheep? And the red part is talking about cows, like it says in the pasuk, or perhaps blue and red is all cows. Do I stick in a typical oila is a sheep? So perhaps the first part is sheep. Rav Chizda wasn't sure. Maybe the whole pasuk is talking about cows. So the Gemara, okay, because Rav Chizda had a shaila, that's why it means that Yosef Ish Hutzal had the same shaila. Rav Chizda misapkulei. Okay. So thus is thus, says the Heilige Mishnah. Hachitzoyna, hoisa prufam and adoraim. If there are 2 curtains, we're going with the sheet that there are 2 curtains, then it was opened nicely with a golden, clasp, a golden clasp that grabbed it. Some Rishonim don't like that. They say it's not proper. Okay, but we're going with Rashi. There's a golden clasp holding it, maybe here. And this is on the southern side. But what you see even though it's open, you still see another curtain. So you don't see in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Now, the inner one was open on the opposite side. The inner one is open, prufa, with a clasp on the northern side. So what does he have to do? He has to enter from the south, make a right turn, and walk through the curtains, the 2 curtains, until he gets to the north. When he gets to the north, he makes a left turn. Yeah, but if you don't have a choice, if you have a choice, you make FedEx also, we discussed this. FedEx makes left turns. Don't get FedEx wrong. But he can't. I thought about it, he can't because he's holding coals in his hand. Yes, they are concerned, and the Yerushalmi says, he's asking if the curtains are going to get burnt and everything. So the Yerushalmi actually says, he goes with his elbows, he makes room with his elbows. Okay, they thought about it. There's 2 feet. It's okay. Okay, so now he's walking between the curtains. I think I printed a picture here for it. Interesting picture. Yeah. Here, stop to visualize. He's walking. It's kind of tight. He's walking between the curtains. It should really be. It's like you're standing. Yeah. This picture is taken from the north, facing south. When he gets to the north, now he enters the Kodesh and he starts walking with the curtain to the south. Why? Because he has to get to the Arayn. The Arayn, do me a favor, Yaakov, get me that Mizbeach over there. It's not the Arayn, but okay. It's similar. No, we don't have the Arayn. No, yeah, that. Give me that. Without the bottom, it's fine. Do we have Arayn? Where? It's bye. It's coming. I hear. Oh, the big one. Okay, that's it. So now this. Oh, beautiful. Here, gewaldig. Thank you, Yeshua. Wow. Careful, the top comes off. Yeah, here. Otazai. Great. Here's the Aron. So now he has to walk 10 amas until he gets to the Aron. The Aron is smack in the middle. The Aron doesn't take up any room. And these are the Badim, and they poke into the Paroiches. They're touching the Paroiches. He has to make his way in. He's coming this way, and he walks, and he positions himself right over here in the middle of the Badim. They don't take room. He goes underneath. He pushes the curtain. Maybe pushes the curtain a little. He goes in. He ducks under. Whatever he has to do to get there. Now, it could be there's no Aron. It could be there is Aron. We'll see. Right. $1,000 almost went down the drain. Hold on. Let's just show the Olam. Yeah, we almost had it fast there. Okay. The luchas with everything. He puts down the shovel with the coals right over here between the two poles. What is this stone called? I forgot what it's called. The rock of the dome. Evan Shasiyah. Very good. This is the Evan Shasiyah. He puts it down, and then he has the K'taris in his hands. Remember, he's carrying the K'taris, and he puts it, and he fills up his hands with the K'taris. And he puts it savar. Now we had a lashon, we have in Machlekes in the Gemara. Does he drop it on in like one shot, sort of? Not really. Or does he spread it out, sprinkles it out nicely? The difference was that if he sprinkles it, it's going to catch fire right away, make a lot of smoke. It's not going to be good for him. He's going to have to run. The Mishnah uses a lashon, savar saktaris agav. He put it on heavy. That's a mitzvah that the whole Kodesh Kodashim fills up with smoke. Yatsa ubaloi b'derech beis knisasa. This is interesting. He's walking backwards now. He's not flipping around and going out. He's going to do a reverse. He puts it in reverse and he starts going backwards like they go out of the kaisel with respect. Oh, and now this Kohen Gadol, he's outside already. He's in the Heichal. And he davens a very short tefillah outside of the bayis. And notice they drew it with a rope, especially in the second bayis. You need a rope only in the second bayis. And he didn't prolong his tefillah in order that Klal Yisrael shouldn't be worried about him. What's he doing? If you don't do the K'taris properly, you die. Based on Rabbi Yitzhak Zilberstein, I want to say something, a beautiful, beautiful thing here, an idea. We're talking about the greatest man on earth, the Kohen Gadol. We're talking about the greatest day in the year, Yom Kippur. And we're talking about the holiest place on earth, the Kodesh HaKodashim. You have the Kohen Gadol, the Kodesh HaKodashim, on Yom Kippur. And he could stand there and say, Rebbeinu Shel Olam, my Yankala needs help in learning. I need this and I need that. And that Shelo Lahavis is Yisrael, to be considerate to another person, that if somebody shouldn't be worried about him, we say, got to keep it short. Keep it short. It's an unbelievable thing. Unbelievable. People spend $10,000, $20,000 on psicha, ne'ilah, and Yom Kippur so they could be in some shul, farvarf in a shul somewhere, and stand by there in Kodesh and whisper in there their tefillah, whatever. And here he is in Kodesh HaKadoshim, right outside, by the Heichel, facing the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the holiest place. No. Shalei Lahavis is Yisrael. It's unbelievable. I don't know. It's unbelievable. It's people like, I thought about it when a guy was davening a very long Shemona Esrei behind me, and I couldn't go home for 10 minutes. It's like, sometimes you have to think about the guy in front of you, the guy next to you. You gotta be considerate sometimes. What? He's sorry. Yeah. If you know who said it. You look a little lost. You look like you haven't been here in a while. You don't chop the dynamics anymore. Somebody has to fill him in. Says the Gemara, what's going on here? If you're talking about the first bias, we have a paroichas. There's no curtain. It was a full wall, but it's plural. Paroichos. There aren't two. There was one. And if you look at this picture right over here, you see that there was a paroichas. And the Gemara is going to discuss later. A small one, like an entryway. So, but there was no paroichos. There were no two of them. Ela b'migdash sheni. Because we're talking about going between the two. You didn't have those two. So we're talking about the second base, Hamikdash. Second base, Hamikdash, we have Aaron. You're telling me he has to position himself and he's wondering how he's going to get underneath the badim. There's no Aaron. What happened to the Aaron? Vadanya, Mishnigna Zarin, we learned this in Shkalim, right? I think Shkalim, Psachim, somewhere around there. Mishnigna Zarin, Nigza Imoitz and Senes Haman. They buried with it the flask of the man that was put away for generations. And then the flask full of oil of the mishcha. There was the staff of Aaron that Akash Baruch Hu said, put in all the staffs, the shvatim, and his staff grew the almonds and it blossomed. It was a tremendous nace to show Akash Baruch Hu was there. So that also had to go. The Plishtim, when they got their zets, because they stole the Aron, they stole this, and they all started getting hemorrhoids and mice. So unbelievable, crazy. So what did they do? They gave a gift, depictions of hemorrhoids and mice. It's an unbelievable gift, but it was made out of whatever. And they took that unbelievable gift, Klal Yisrael put it next to the Aron. Shenemar Klei Hazov was gold. Asher Shivaisim Loi Osham to Simu Ba'aragas V'Halach. Send it away. Umignazai. Yeshio Gnazai. Yoshua, all the way at the end of Beis Rishon, he buried it. Why did he do it? Rosh Hashanah. Yoylech Hashem Oischa V'Smalkach Hashem Togam Alecha. Oh man, the Gnozai. Klal is going to go into Golos. I don't want them to take the Aron Chas Shalom with them, so he buried it. Shenema. Vayomer Levi Vinim Kol Yisrael Hagadoshim Lashem. Nuas Aron Hakodesh BeBeis Asher Bona Shlomo Ben Dovid. Now the question is, where's the Aron? Rabbi said, where's the Aron? No, but where is it? As the pasuk is talking, before they buried it, where is it? In the Beis Hamikdash. So why does the pasuk say Tnuas Aroin Hakodesh BeBeis? Put it in the Beis. It is there. Oh, the pshat is. I'm just saying over Rashi. Pshat is. He's saying buried in the Beis. Put it in the Beis underneath where nobody will find it. So it's there now. Tnuas Aroin Hakodesh BeBeis Asher Bona Shlomo Ben Dovid Melch Yisrael. Ein lochem maso b'kodev. You don't have to carry ato. Ivdus Hashem Elikechem v'S'amo Yisrael. Okay. Vomer Lazar. If one of these things is buried, they all go together. Asya Shama Shama. Very interesting. I don't know if you noticed when you were learning this sugya, but all the three words of these three Gzerei Shabbos are all by man. So we learn Shama by the Aron and Shama by man. Here it says the word Shama. So they have to go together. And then it says Asya, the Doirais. It says by man. Now, once I learned those two, now it says Doirais Seichem, and it says by the oil Doirais. Okay. Basi Mishmeres, and by Man it says the word Limishmeres, and by the Makil of Aaron it says Mishmeres. Bekitzer, they all go, it's a package deal. If you're going to bury the Aaron, you're going to bury the Makil, the Shemen, and the Man. So, what are we talking about? If it's Bayis Rishon, it can't be. There's no paroichos. If it's Bayis Sheni, there's no Aron. Says the Gemara, Loilam b'migdash Sheni, it was in the second Beis Hamikdash. Umay yigel Aron, Makay Aron. He came to the place where the Aron was positioned, And that's it. But he said it's describing it's between the two poles. Again, in the same area where the Badim were once upon a time in the first Beis Hamikdash. One more minute or stop here? What do you want? One more minute. As we mentioned, it means that he laid it on the ketores on top of the coals. One pshat is, look, his back is to the heichal. He's facing the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So one pshat is that his hands were away from him, and he started emptying out his hands as he's coming towards him, which is a little safer. He's not going to get burnt. And the other one says no. His hands were closer to his body, and he moved away from his body. It's actually machloikes. It makes sense that he was being careful. This not it says in the Mishnah, be careful not to get burned by the flames. And Memela, he went away. He started away from him and went towards him. Have a wonderful day. No, it's open, I think. I think so, but slowly, he gets it down. Mr. Feder, were you in the hospital? Oh, so you're already back? Refuah Shleima.